What happens when a former royal walks onto live television thinking she owns the place? In just 41 seconds, one explosive comment would turn a simple morning chat into the most shocking meltdown ever caught on camera. Picture this. It's a bright Tuesday morning at the This Morning studios. The cameras are rolling. The audience is settling in with their tea and biscuits, expecting nothing more than the usual celebrity fluff piece. Kat Deeley, the beloved host with her warm smile and genuine charm, sits across from her guest. The woman who once lived in palaces now sits in a standard studio chair, but something feels different today. There's tension in the air that even the makeup can't cover. Kat starts with her trademark warmth. Good morning and welcome back to This Morning. I'm absolutely delighted to have you here with us today. I know our viewers are so excited to hear about your latest projects. But instead of the gracious response viewers expected, the guest's face hardens. Well, Kat, I suppose I should thank you for finally having me on, though I did expect to be in the main slot, not squeezed in after the cooking segment. Kat's smile falters for just a moment, but being the professional she is, she recovers quickly. Oh, we're so grateful you could fit us into your busy schedule. I know how much your time means to you. The guest leans back in her chair, crossing her arms. Yes, well, my time is quite valuable these days. I'm not sure your producers understand exactly who they're dealing with here. The studio audience shifts uncomfortably. Even the camera operators exchange glances. This isn't going according to script. Kat maintains her composure, her voice still friendly but with a slight edge. Of course, and we're honored to have such an accomplished guest. Perhaps you could tell our viewers about your recent charity work? But the guest isn't interested in talking about charity. Kat, can I be honest with you? I'm a bit disappointed in the questions I was given beforehand. They're quite beneath what I'm used to. When I did interviews with major American networks, they treated me with the respect I deserve. The temperature in the room seems to drop 10 degrees. Kat's professional mask is beginning to crack, but she soldiers on. Well, we like to keep things friendly and accessible here. Our viewers appreciate authenticity. Authenticity? The guest lets out a sharp laugh. Kat, darling, I don't think you understand what real authenticity looks like. I've lived it. I've been through things that would break most people. I don't need to pretend for the cameras like some people do. The insult hangs in the air like poison. Kat's eyes flash, but she keeps her voice level. I think our viewers would disagree with that assessment. We've built our show on genuine connections and real conversations. Real conversations? The guest's voice rises slightly. Is that what you call this? These softball questions? I've been ambushed by tougher interviews at garden parties. I expected better from British television, even if it is just morning television. The condescension is palpable now. Kat's jaw tightens, but she's still fighting to keep the interview on track. Perhaps we could focus on your upcoming book project? I'm sure our audience would love to hear about that. The guest waves her hand dismissively. The book is doing quite well, thank you, though I'm not surprised the British press hasn't given it the coverage it deserves. They've never been particularly fair to me, have they? Kat's patience is wearing thin, and it's starting to show. I think you'll find that This Morning has always been fair to all our guests. We treat everyone with respect and professionalism. Do you really? The guest's voice drips with sarcasm. Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like you're trying to trap me with these questions. Is this some sort of setup? Are you trying to make me look bad on purpose? The accusation is so outrageous that Kat actually blinks in surprise. I can assure you that's absolutely not the case. We invited you here in good faith to have a pleasant conversation. Pleasant? The guest's voice gets sharper. There's nothing pleasant about being treated like some minor celebrity who should be grateful for scraps of attention. I've graced royal stages, Kat. I've met world leaders. This little morning show should be honored to have me here. The studio falls deadly quiet. Even the production crew stops what they're doing. Kat's face goes pale, then flushes red. Her voice, when she speaks, is carefully controlled but trembling with suppressed anger. I think there's been a misunderstanding about how we do things here. This Morning is a show that celebrates real people doing real things. We don't do pedestals here. The guest's eyes narrow dangerously. Pedestals? Is that what you think this is about? Kat, I don't need a pedestal. I am the pedestal. People like you should understand that by now. The arrogance is so breathtaking that several audience members gasp audibly. Kat's composure finally begins to crack in earnest. Her voice rises slightly, though she's still trying to maintain professionalism. People like me? What exactly does that mean? Oh, come on, Kat. Don't pretend you don't know what I mean. You're a television presenter. I'm someone who actually matters. There's a difference. The insult lands like a slap across the face. Kat's eyes widen in shock, and for a moment, she's speechless. The guest seems to take this as encouragement to continue her attack. I mean, it's sweet that you have this little show and everything, but let's be realistic about what this is. This isn't real journalism. This isn't important television. This is just fluff for housewives who have nothing better to do with their morning. The studio erupts in shocked murmurs. Someone in the crew drops something with a loud clatter. Kat's face goes through several emotions in quick succession: shock, hurt, and finally, righteous anger. Kat takes a deep breath, her hands gripping the arms of her chair so tightly, her knuckles turn white. When she speaks, her voice is ice cold and razor sharp. "I'm sorry, did you just call our viewers housewives with nothing better to do? The millions of people who tune in every morning to start their day with us?" The guest realizes she's crossed a line, but instead of backing down, she doubles down. "Well, I mean, that's your demographic, isn't it? I'm just being honest. Surely you know who watches daytime television. Our viewers," Kat says, her voice rising now, "include doctors on their break, teachers preparing for their day, parents juggling work and family, retired people who've worked their whole lives, students, caregivers, and yes, people managing households, which is one of the hardest jobs in the world. How dare you dismiss them like that?" The guest shifts uncomfortably, sensing the mood in the room has completely turned against her, but her pride won't let her admit she's wrong. "Kat, you're being very dramatic. I'm simply pointing out the obvious differences between serious media and entertainment television." "Dramatic?" Kat's voice cracks like a whip. "You just insulted every single person watching this show, including the team of hardworking professionals who make it happen every single day. You think that's not dramatic?" The guest's face hardens again. "I think you're overreacting because you can't handle a bit of honest conversation. Maybe this is exactly why British television has fallen so far behind American standards." The camera zooms in on Kat's face, and viewers can see the exact moment her professional restraint snaps. British television has fallen behind? This from someone who couldn't even manage to stay in the country she married into? The words hang in the air like a bomb waiting to explode. The guest's mouth drops open in shock, her face turning bright red. "Excuse me? How dare you bring my personal life into this? You brought it up the moment you started comparing us to American networks and talking about how important you are." Kat fires back, her voice gaining strength. "You want to talk about standards? Let's talk about the standard of treating people with basic human decency." The guest's voice becomes shrill. "I have been nothing but honest with you. If you can't handle honesty, maybe you're not cut out for this job." "Honest?" Kat laughs, but there's no humor in it. "You call sitting there insulting our viewers, our show, and our entire country honest? That's not honesty. That's just plain rudeness, dressed up in fancy words." The guest stands up abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. "I don't have to sit here and listen to this attack. This is exactly the kind of treatment I expected from British media. You're all the same." "Sit down," Kat says firmly, also rising from her chair. "You came on this show as our guest, and you will show some respect." "Respect?" The guest's voice reaches a new pitch. "Respect is something that's earned, Kat. And frankly, I don't think you or this little show have earned mine. I've been gracious enough to appear here. And this is how you treat me?" The audience is completely silent now, watching this train wreck unfold in real time. Kat's voice drops to a dangerous whisper. "Gracious? Is that what you call what just happened? You've spent the last 10 minutes insulting everything and everyone connected to this show." "I've been telling the truth," the guest snaps back. "If that makes you uncomfortable, maybe you should ask yourself why." "The truth?" Kat's voice explodes with fury. "The truth is that you walked in here thinking you were better than everyone else in this room. The truth is that you've shown nothing but contempt for our viewers, our show, and our country. The truth is that your behavior right now is absolutely disgraceful." The guest points an accusing finger at Kat. "Don't you lecture me about disgraceful behavior. You're the one who turned this into a confrontation. All I did was try to have an honest conversation." "Honest conversation?" Kat's voice is incredulous. "You called our viewers housewives with nothing better to do. You said I should feel honored to have you here. You dismissed British television as inferior. You called me and my team unimportant. Is that your idea of honest conversation?" The guest's composure is completely gone now. "Well, maybe if you'd prepared better questions, if you'd treated me with the respect I deserve, if you'd understood who you were dealing with, none of this would have happened." "Who we were dealing with?" Kat's voice rises to match the guest's volume. "We were dealing with someone we thought was a professional, someone we expected to show basic courtesy to our audience and our team. Clearly, we were mistaken." The guest throws her hands up in exasperation. This is impossible. You're twisting everything I say. This is exactly why I don't do British television anymore. You people can't handle straightforward conversation. You people? Kat's eyes flash dangerously. Did you just say you people about an entire nation? The guest realizes her mistake immediately, but it's too late. The words are out there, captured on live television for millions to hear. I didn't mean it like that, she stammers. How did you mean it then? Kat demands, stepping closer. Because it sounds like you think you're better than all of us simply because of where you come from or who you used to be married to. The guest's face crumples slightly, but then hardens again with defiance. I am better than this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I've been through enough without having to deal with this kind of hostility. Hostility? Kat's voice reaches a crescendo. The only hostility here came from you the moment you walked through that door. You've been condescending, insulting, and downright mean to everyone in this room. The guest points toward the audience. They don't matter. They're just an audience. What matters is how you treat your guests, and you've been absolutely terrible. The words hit the room like a physical blow. Even the cameramen look shocked. Kat's face goes white with rage. They don't matter? Did you just say our live studio audience doesn't matter? The guest seems to realize she's made another catastrophic error, but her pride won't let her back down. I meant they're not part of the interview. This is between you and me. No, Kat says, her voice deadly quiet now. This is between you and every single person you've insulted today, and I think we've heard quite enough. The studio falls into a silence so complete you could hear a pin drop. Kat stands there, her chest rising and falling with controlled fury, while the guest shifts nervously, finally seeming to understand the magnitude of what she's done. I think, Kat says, her voice steady but laced with steel. It's time for you to leave. The guest's eyes widen in shock. You can't be serious. You're actually going to kick me off your show? I'm not kicking you off, Kat replies calmly. I'm asking you to leave because you've shown complete disrespect to everyone here today. Our viewers deserve better. Our team deserves better. And frankly, our show deserves better. The guest's face flushes red with indignation. This is outrageous. I came here in good faith to promote my work, and you're treating me like some kind of criminal. Good faith? Kat's eyebrows shoot up. Is that what you call spending 15 minutes insulting everyone in this building? Because I call that something else entirely. The guest takes a step toward Kat, her voice becoming more desperate. You're making a huge mistake here, Kat. Do you have any idea who you're talking to? Do you understand what this could mean for your career? The threat hangs in the air like smoke. Kat's expression doesn't change, but something dangerous flickers in her eyes. Are you threatening me now? On live television? I'm not threatening anyone, the guest says quickly, but her voice betrays her panic. I'm just saying that maybe you should think about the consequences of your actions here. Kat takes a deep breath and turns slightly toward the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize to all of you watching at home. This is not the kind of behavior we ever expect or tolerate on this morning. The guest realizes the interview is slipping completely away from her. Don't apologize for me. I don't need your apologies. What I need is for you to show me the basic courtesy that any professional guest deserves. Professional? Kat turns back to face her, and her voice is incredulous. You think your behavior today has been professional? You've insulted our viewers, dismissed our show, attacked our country, and now you're making veiled threats. Is that your definition of professional? The guest's composure cracks further. I never made any threats. I simply pointed out that actions have consequences. Maybe if you understood who you were dealing with, you'd handle this situation differently. There it is again, Kat says, shaking her head. Who you are. As if being who you are gives you permission to treat people badly. As if your title or your past somehow makes you better than the rest of us. The guest's voice becomes shrill again. I never said I was better than anyone. You didn't have to say it. Kat fires back. You've shown it with every word out of your mouth since you sat down. You've made it crystal clear that you think we're all beneath you. The guest tries one more time to regain control. Kat, I think we've both gotten a bit heated here. Maybe we can start over and have the conversation we were supposed to have. But Kat isn't having it. No, we can't start over. You don't get to insult everyone here and then pretend it didn't happen. You don't get to disrespect our viewers and then ask for a do-over. The guest's voice cracks slightly. I never meant to disrespect anyone. If people misunderstood what I was trying to say, then I'm sorry they feel that way. Stop, Kat says firmly. Just stop. That's not an apology. That's you blaming everyone else for your own words. You said what you said. We all heard it. The cameras caught every word. The guest looks around the studio desperately, as if searching for someone to help her. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to stand here and be lectured by someone who clearly doesn't understand the situation. What situation? Kat demands. The situation where you came on our show and acted like you were doing us some enormous favor? The situation where you insulted millions of viewers? The situation where you treated our team like servants? What exactly don't I understand? The guest's voice becomes small and petulant. I just expected to be treated with a little more respect, that's all. Respect is earned, Kat says quietly, and it's mutual. You can't demand respect while showing none to others. You can't expect courtesy while being discourteous. You can't ask for professionalism while behaving unprofessionally. The guest makes one final attempt to salvage the situation. Look, maybe we both made mistakes here. Maybe we can just agree to disagree and move on. Kat shakes her head slowly. No, there's no both here. There's no we in this situation. You came into our studio, insulted our viewers, dismissed our show, attacked our professionalism, and disrespected everyone you've encountered. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. The guest's face hardens one last time. Fine. If that's how you want to play this, then fine. But don't think this ends here, Kat. I have a platform. I have a voice. People will hear about how I was treated today. Kat's expression doesn't change. Good. I hope they do. I hope they hear exactly how you behaved and exactly why you were asked to leave. I hope they see this entire interview and make their own judgments about what happened here today. The guest realizes she's been outmaneuvered completely. With nowhere left to go and no way to save face, she grabs her handbag with shaking hands. This is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Yes, Kat agrees quietly. It is. The guest storms toward the exit, her heels clicking sharply against the floor. Just before she reaches the door, she turns back one final time. You'll regret this, Kat. Mark my words. Kat doesn't flinch. The only thing I regret is that our viewers had to witness this behavior. But I'm proud that we stood up for them and for the values this show represents. The guest disappears through the exit, leaving behind a studio full of shocked faces and stunned silence. Kat takes a moment to compose herself, then turns back to the camera with as much dignity as she can muster. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize again for what you've just witnessed. This morning has always been about celebrating the best in people, and what you saw today was certainly not that. We'll be right back after this break with some much more positive news. As the cameras cut away, the entire studio erupts in applause for Kat, who handled an impossible situation with grace, strength, and unwavering professionalism. The guest, meanwhile, had shown her true colors for all the world to see, and there was no coming back from that kind of public meltdown. In just 41 seconds of entitlement and arrogance, she had destroyed her own reputation and proved that respect really cannot be demanded, only earned.